What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Onyxcoin today, XCN USD. It is the 19th day of December, and here we are sitting at about $0.00445. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. I do want to pull up the Coinbase chart because it has volume. You know, typically whenever you break out of something, you have a range like this, right? We're in a little range here. When you break out, typically you get some volume. We're just completely lacking volume. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but like here, for example, you know, whenever we consolidated, we broke out. There wasn't volume at first, but then when the volume came in, then we moved down. So while it is somewhat encouraging that there's no volume on this breakout, I think that that might be more attributed to the fact that there's just a very low amount of liquidity available for Onyxcoin at the moment because of how boring and depressing it's been, right? So you're just in low volume times. It's really easy to push the price around. You don't need much volume to push it up or down right now. And that's why I think we are very much overdue for a massive rally. Because all the people who thought about buying here, who are like, I'm so smart for not buying. I'm so smart for not buying. And it's like, whatever, that's just a one-off. It'll dump just like the rest of them. Oh my God, why didn't I buy there? Wow, I really should buy right now. You know, the FOMO, the line of thought, all I'm trying to offer there is that the line of thought, psychologically speaking, is that anybody who's had their eyes on Onyxcoin for the past few months, they might be sidelined. They might not be interested in buying Onyxcoin. They might have already sold. That's why there's such low volume right now. But when we start to rally, when that starts to happen, that typically captivates people. Nothing promotes selling pressure like depressing price action. Nothing promotes the emotions that cause you to FOMO like movements like this. And I really do think that we have a movement like this, just like this, coming very, very soon. It might be just as big. It might be bigger, but something on those lines. Probably not like this. I mean, maybe. We'll see. But we probably got to set up before we get a move like that. I don't know if we'll see a move like this again for Onyxcoin. But looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, zooming in a little bit and talking about this, we really are just moving down with very, very minuscule levels of volume here. It's very insignificant levels. Dropping a little bit lower here without volume. I would expect that we do turn around, and we are turning around a little bit here. Some bullish divergence on the RSI, on the stochastics, bullish stochastics. The RSI is technically neutral here, but you have bullish aspirations here. And so does the MACD. Technically, you're neutral here, but I like what you're doing. I actually really like what you're doing. This could be a day where, you know, maybe over the coming hours, Onyxcoin pumps back up to 0.005. Or we're right at a point to reject. I mean, we could reject here, I suppose. We do have bearish divergence technically on the stochastics and technically on the MACD. Technically, we do have bearish divergence, so this could be an area to reject. But whether we go a little bit lower, this is the low and we find support here and then we move up, I mean, whatever. You know, in all fairness, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if we're looking at this on the 1 hour time frame on Coinbase, there is a gap here. So move up, move down, whatever. I think we have a date with destiny with lower prices. That's just my thought there. We don't typically leave gaps. You might be looking at this and saying, that's not a gap. What are you talking about? That is a gap. Yeah, where you close the candle here and then you open it here, there's a gap. There's a gap right there. It's just one of those, it's a weird gap. It's one of those kind of hidden gaps. It doesn't look like this where that's a gap. Probably makes sense that what we did was we just moved up, we filled this gap, and now we'll come back down and fill that gap. Bitcoin's moving down. I bet Onyxcoin doesn't move up while Bitcoin's moving down. Not that it can't. We've seen it happen before, but even if it does, it's not going to be like some crazy, crazy move up, right? So we probably do come down. I was a little bit bullish at first, but thinking about it now, we're at the areas in the RSI where we typically reject. Bearish divergence on the stochastics and the MACD. Decaying without any volume, but you're building here with even less volume. So yeah, we probably do go lower. That's probably not the low. 4 hour time frame here, and then we have the gap at the bottom too. 4 hour time frame, there's a little bit of bullish divergence here. Higher lows there. Actually, wow. Double bullish divergence there from this point. Again, there's a chance that we could go up to like 0.049, 0.005, something up here, and that's fine if we do, but we still probably come back down even if that happens. A little bit of bullish divergence on the RSI, that has worked itself out as of now. The stochastics, if anything, look more bearish than bullish here. So does the RSI. Higher highs there, lower highs there, higher highs here, lower highs there. You're at a point that you keep rejecting, Same thing with the RSI. You've been rejecting this area. I think that we are probably going to go lower, guys. Right? Like imagine this was the low of this move. This is the reaction we're getting. I don't think so. Right? This is the low. That's the reaction. You know what I mean? That's something that we're looking for. This probably not. Probably not. Not that it can't be, but probably not. Daily time frame. Stochastics are bearish. MACD just built some bearish momentum. Oh, it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate, yeah. Bouncing off the oversold zone. There's a little bit of light at the end of this tunnel, but as long as today closes green, we got 7 hours left in the day. We're only up 5%. I'm not holding my breath over that. Overall, very bearish environment for all these indicators, so lower prices should be expected. We look at this on a weekly time frame, from maybe the all-time low to this cycle's high. You know, there's this golden ratio zone down here at 0035, 0025, right here with these prior areas of resistance. If we look at this low to high here, which I think more encapsulates this movement, low to high, we're already at the golden ratio, but we could go as low as 0039, and that fits the golden ratio of this retracement here, this retracement, and those retracements. Their golden ratios kind of line up right there. So, and then you have that prior area of resistance. I don't think that we go below 0039. We are showing respect at these fib levels, but I do think that we go below 004, and then we'll reevaluate from there. We're certainly getting to our low points. We're certainly at a low point now. It's a great time to DCA. But I would bet if you wait like a week, we'll probably be, or maybe even just a few days, we'll probably be at lower prices. Get one more drive of bearish momentum to give some more bullish divergence here on the weekly MACD, and then we'll be ready to pop. Soon enough, though, you guys, I very much do anticipate that we're going to see a move that likely takes us back, you know, somewhere between probably here, this low, 1 cent right there, and then maybe these highs here, something at like 1.3 cents. Maybe we only stop there just below 1 cent. We could stop here, but I don't know. We'll see. There's more significance up here than there is down there, but time will tell. And whenever this move happens, whenever this next move happens, like how it's taken 10 weeks to get down here from this point, it'll take 1 week to get up there, or 2 weeks, right? It could be by the end of it's the 19th, we're going lower, and it could still be by the end of the year that we're above 1 cent. And if not, sometime in January, right? The whole market is pretty programmed to see some bullish recovery in January, but I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Just waiting, man. Being patient. Waiting for the rest of the market to show up a little bit. I doubt that Onyxcoin is going to do anything impressive like this while the rest of the market is sleeping. It only saw a move like this. It only saw a move like this when the rest of the market woke up as well. So whenever that happens, that's whenever things will shape up a little bit more. Be patient. Oh my goodness, and something I haven't really considered, I haven't thought about, but looking at it here, we've closed 1, 2, 3, technically, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This will be our 11th week in a row to the downside. 11 red weeks in a row makes me think, man, it's time to go. I don't know, how many did we move down here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wow. Kind of interesting. Kind of. And the thought here too, you know, we consolidated from here. You had a fake out high, but if you contribute this kind of area to like one grand consolidation phase, we consolidated for 35 weeks before finding our low. Here we are, well past that, 47 weeks here. I mean, this is a long time, guys. This is a long time moving down. It's like bear market time frame without the bear market drop. I mean, don't give me, I shouldn't say that. That's still a pretty massive drop. Let's see, from a high to a low, we're down over 90%, which is crazy. That is like bear market territory. And to be fair, we've been dropping for about a year. That's kind of interesting to think about, man. It's like Onyxcoin had its own bear market. That's kind of crazy. It literally had its own. That means, I mean, I'm just saying, man, whenever we recover, we're going to see a very massive pop here, right? Maybe we get a nice pop, and then we consolidate, and then we continue to rally, right? But I don't think it'll take this much time before we start to really see significant movement. We're close, guys. We're very close, but interesting. It is kind of crazy that we've been moving down now for 11 weeks in a row. We've been red, right? And the green weeks that we had before then, they weren't really, it was just neutral. Anyways, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. If you want to stick around, I am going to do one more thing real quick. I'm just going to see what the longest stint of red weeks has been for Onyxcoin in its history. And if you notice here, like if I take this week and then I go here, it's 1 week, but really that's 2 weeks. You see 1, 2. Does that make sense? So just hear me out. whenever I do it like this, I'm going to measure from this point, not from the first one. That way I get 1 week there, and then that was 7 weeks in a row that were red. Measure it from this point. That way the first week says 1. We had 7 weeks in a row again that were red. And then here you had 10 weeks in a row that were red. Wow. Here we had 9 weeks. We have never seen this many red weeks in a row for Onyxcoin's entire existence. We're down 90% from the relative highs. We are at 11 weeks red in a row at some of the most oversold areas we've been in for over 2 years now. Bullish divergence on the MACD, bullish divergence on the stochastics, bullish divergence on the XCN BTC chart, and they're building, and there's fundamental growth happening with Onyxcoin. Weekly bullish divergence here. You can see it clear as day. We're building another drive right now, actually. Your stochastics are very oversold. So is your RSI. Technically, actually, your RSI is like some of the most oversold that we've ever been. And then on top of all that, too, this is the XCN BTC chart, not the USD chart. We're also right here at this golden ratio zone as well, prior areas of resistance. So the signs are all over. The writing's all over the wall. And unfortunately, guys, the triple bottom didn't work out. Unfortunately, this wasn't the low. Unfortunately, we did go lower. But as we discussed really for like the past month, even if we do go lower, the amount of time that we're going to spend below these lows is very short-lived. So we're in this very short-lived experience being below this low here from the 21st of November. And it won't be long-lived. With the longest stint of red that we've ever seen, and we're at clear areas of support, I just can't help but think we're going to see a massive recovery from here, guys. And anybody that sold along the way, that panic sold, they're probably going to be part of why this recovery is so massive, because they're going to be getting back in and they're going to FOMO. They're going to get in irrational because they're not going to think like this. Oh, I bought here because I was excited. I bought here because I was excited, and now I'm down 70%. So I'm going to sell. I feel like such a genius, and now it's up. They're not going to think here whenever it's up. They're not going to think like, oh my God, if I just held, I'd be up. I'm never buying this thing again. I'm just going to stay away. No, they're going to think, man, if I just held, I'd be up. This thing is going up. It is breaking out. It's going to do everything that we thought it was going to do. I was wrong. I was so silly. Now I have less Onyx coins, but if I still buy here and we do go to 10 cents, that's still an 8x from here on a coin that I genuinely believed in fundamentally. C-Zar was telling me all this time that the fundamentals were real, but I got scared because of the price action. I dumped irrationally because of my emotions. Now I'm going to buy, and they're going to think that they're not buying because of emotions. They're going to think that they're buying rationally, logically, because clearly now it's proven itself. Clearly now it's quote-unquote not a scam. So these targets that we assume of like 10 cents and beyond are back on the table. They might have sold at a point where they buy back. They're getting dramatically less Onyx coins in their position than if they just held all the way through. But they'll be willing to buy back because they'll see the association with where the movement is going to take us. And that's going to cause FOMO. I don't know how much sense that makes, but I was just trying to draw a story there where I wouldn't be surprised. Mark my words. Anybody that's sold over the last 11 weeks, they will be part of why we're pumping so hard. That's all I'm saying. And if you're somebody that's sold and you're like, no, I'm not going to buy back into this, good luck. That's all I'm saying. Good luck. Because I would bet the reason you sold is not because of the fundamentals. It's because of the price. So then whenever the price pumps, guess what? Now you want to FOMO because of the price, but guess what? It's not just that. There's also the fundamentals, which everybody who sold here is well aware of the fundamentals. Right? They have to be well aware of the fundamentals at that point. Anyways, hit the like button, subscribe. I hope that makes sense what I said there at the end. 11 weeks to the downside. We've never seen this before. It's crazy. Bye-bye.